I'm here to do a devotional today on the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're going to start out with Matthew, chapter 27, verse 1 through 26. And it starts off with Judas, the disciple of Jesus. He betrayed Jesus by selling him out for money. The Roman soldiers went and arrested him. And after Judas saw what he had done and the pain that he had caused Jesus, he couldn't live with the guilt and the shame, and he killed himself. So then Jesus was brought up in front of Pontius Pilate and asked a bunch of questions. And Pilate decided that Jesus was innocent and sent him over to King Herod, which he was in Jerusalem at the time. And same thing happened. Herod asked Jesus a bunch of questions, couldn't find any fault in him, but he had heard rumors that the people were calling him the King of the Jews. So him and his soldiers decided to put him in a kingly robe, dress him up, and make fun of him, and then they sent him back to Pontius Pilate. So now, Passover's coming. And in the book of Mark, chapter 15, verses 1 through 15, Pilate tries to free Jesus. And he talks to the crowd, but the leading priests were jealous. And they felt that Jesus was gaining too much power. And so they were persuading the crowd to crucify Jesus and get rid of him once and for all. But Pilate wanted to free Jesus, but he didn't want the crowd to go crazy. So then we read on in Luke chapter 23, verses 1 through 25, it was Passover during this time. So Pilate decided to give the Roman crowd a choice. And they said, well, it is our tradition to let a prisoner go. So Pilate decided to get Barnabas because he was a murderer and he was like his worst prisoner, and put him up there with Jesus. And surely the crowd would pick Jesus. But nope, it's not how it happened. The crowd just kept chanting, "Crucify Jesus," and let Barnabas go. So Pilate decided he didn't want the crowd to riot. And so we read in the book of John, 19:16, that finally Pilate handed Jesus over to them and told them to do what they will. And of course, that was the crucifixion. In the hours that before Jesus' death, it was extremely painful, yet Jesus knew his mission, that he faced the sacrifice with love and courage and conviction. Jesus willingly gave up his life for us. And that's our message today through all of these Bible verses, is that we're on mission. We have a purpose. We need to follow that purpose. Just try. That's all God wants us to do, is just try. Just try to be more compassionate, be more courageous, have more conviction. God just wants us to try. It's all about love. Thank you for listening, and have a good Friday.